This is Coach Chick Austin, welcoming you to Austin Field, home of the Lakeside Rams since 1949. There's no better place to be on Friday night than a high school football game. It's Friday night. Let's go Rams.
Hello everyone and welcome to this week's playoff edition of the Lakeside Coaches Show. Once again, we're going to kick it off this week with Coach McBride. Coach McBride, thanks for sitting down with us.
Yeah, glad to be here.
All right, so another big win this past week on the road against inner-city rival Hot Springs. You know, a great balanced attack all around on both sides of the ball. What was really clicking in this game?
I think our kids prepared well and played well. Overall had a good game plan and they executed it. Anytime that you get to play your rival to finish the season, it's a special night and meant a lot to our guys and something they'll remember forever. I think we were very balanced offensively, able to put the ball in the air, throw and catch pretty well. Ran the ball just enough, and then defensively played really well. They kind of came out in a spread look that we hadn't seen a whole bunch of, and I think our kids adjusted well and played hard.
Was there a player or a group of players that really stood out in this game?
You know, I think Taylor had probably his best night passing the football overall, just making good decisions, and receivers caught the ball well, and then yards after catch were big for him also. Running back wise, Mike ran very well, ran hard, and kind of blocked well for him up front. Defensively, we just kind of ran around and we're fast and tackled well and created some turnovers. So overall, just a good, solid football game from us.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of that, Michael, you know, you have the 1-2 punch of Michael James and Dupree Swanson in that run game. You know, how's that going to benefit you headed into the playoffs?
It means a lot to our team. You know, they block well for each other and they run hard, and they're kind of the key to our offense. And they both got to have big nights coming up this week.
So, looking back at the preseason, you know, is this team where you wanted them to be heading into the playoffs?
I think so. I think we're right where we need to be. I think we've progressed along throughout the season. We've had some ups and downs like any team will do, but I think we're right where we need to be and healthy and ready for a good playoff run.
Mm-hmm. And so now let's move on to the playoff outlook. You know, Lakeside was placed in the West Division of 5A, mm-hmm. and of course the matchup this week against Harrison, which we'll get to in a minute. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. PA is also placed in that Western Division, you know, with a win here potentially facing PA next week. You know, are you nervous or excited knowing there's a potential matchup with the Bruins?
You know, we're excited about the ball game we have this week. You know, it's going to be a tough one versus Harrison, and whoever we get next, we'll deal with next. But right now, we're really focused on our first round game, which will be a tough one.
Mm-hmm. So Harrison and play style is kind of similar to Lakeside. They've even got their own 1-2 punch. Of course, Gabe Husky has stats almost identical to Dupree, and they have their own 1-2 punch with Ski and Dittmanson, which is similar to the Swanson-James combination from this Rams team. You know, how do you face a team that's so similar to you on paper?
You know, they are a lot like us in a lot of aspects. They're physical up front. Their backs run hard. Quarterbacks make good decisions. And they compete, and it should set up for a really good playoff football game.
So is there anybody else from this Goblins team that's really garnered your attention?
You know, they play a lot of guys both ways. So you see a lot of guys show up on both sides of the ball. That means they mean a lot to their team. They're aggressive football players. But overall, I think that we can just kind of focus on us and handle our business, and we should be able to get a win.
What are you expecting from the Goblins defense this?
They're a solid defense. They don't gamble. They're very well coached. You can tell that they fit their gaps correctly and that they play hard. Traditional 4-3 defense and don't really vary from that. Very strong, big guys up front. So just kind of expect a good battle from those guys and our offensive linemen.
So the main goal for the season heading in was a deeper run for this team in the playoffs. You know, what can we be watching for as a key to success?
You know, for us, it's that we prepare well every day, and we've had a good week of practice, and that means a lot to me, knowing that we'll be ready to play on Friday. And if we'll keep getting better during the week and are hungry enough to compete on Friday and keep progressing, we have a chance to play for a while, and that's been our goal since the very beginning.
And one more thing we've talked about, we've noticed over the last few games, Taylor Gillum's had some pretty consistent ball here in conference play. Of course, those early season struggles, but he's really turned it around, and this team's turned around in the process. Would you say that his consistency is a real key to success for this team?
It is. We've got confidence in him, and the main thing is he's got confidence in himself. And the more balanced we are, the better we are offensively. So, rightfully so, the better he plays, the better we play.
How's the atmosphere for the playoffs this week going to compare to a normal regular season game?
It's going to be special. Just that we get to play at home, and we know we're going to have a great home crowd, and that that if you lose, that you're done. So it's a little bit more pressure on you and on our group, and I think our seniors will relish that and prepare well and play hard.
All right. Well, thanks, Coach. Good luck this week.
Thanks so much.
And we'll be right back with this week's special guest.
Do you talk to your family without really communicating? Our new Lennox Ultimate Comfort System communicates with each component of the system, which communicates with you at home or away, giving you the ultimate control and perfect air. Wouldn't it be nice if everything in your life worked that well together?
Call Grisham Air Care for perfect air in your home.
Grisham Air Care and Lennox, the ultimate home comfort team. Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
Welcome back to the Lakeside Coaches Show, everyone. At this time, we're joined by Lakeside defensive back and strength and conditioning coach, Jeff McBride. Coach McBride, thanks for sitting down with us.
You bet. Glad to be here.
So are you Coach McBride's older brother?
I am, yeah. About 6 years, I guess.
So who had the talent on the field growing up?
Well, whenever I was playing, I had the talent. But whenever he got up and started playing, he had some talent as well. So it worked hand in hand. It was pretty special to get to watch him play after I was gone.
So can you tell us more about your career in football?
Well, I played quarterback in high school at Nashville as well, and I played for a different coach. I actually played for Gary Seegers, who ended up coaching here. That was my high school coach, and we played a different ball game. So I got to hand the ball off a lot and run a lot, and we had fun playing. Not quite as much as success as when Coach Billy Laird got there and Jared took over as quarterback, and they did a great deal as well. So Nashville was a fun place to play ball.
So this is the quarterback position running the family?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, we had fun playing it.
So now we move on to this team here, the 2017 Lakeside Rams. One of the great stories this season has been Enrique Aon. We've said it a lot this season, but it's true. It's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog, and he's proven that all year long. So how has Enrique worked around his size disadvantage?
I tell you what, it's mostly it's just hustle and willingness and want to. I mean, he's got it built in. He's got a motor that doesn't stop, and I love him to death. He plays so hard, and really that's what it amounts to. And he learns. He studies the game, and he knows where he's supposed to be. And when you are size disadvantaged, you have to do things like that. He does a real good job at it.
So moving on, as Coach McBride always says, senior leadership is key to success on this team. How have guys like Brandon Chambers and David Reaganhart, affected this team and really stepped into leadership roles?
Well, I tell you what, we've got 3 seniors that I work with, and David and Chambers are there are 2 of them, and then you've got Landon Muldoon. He does a great job as well. They all 3 do a good job because they lead in different ways. And I've had a good time working with them because I've got to experience those different ways that they do that. Landon, he's on the field. He leads by example, Chambers, Brandon, he's not afraid to tell you what he thinks, and he's done a real good job working with some of my younger corners and trying to build them up. David, I tell you what I like about David is we didn't even think he was going to play that spot. He was primarily offense, and then all of a sudden we needed a tiger, and he said, "Hey, Coach, I'll do it," out of the blue, and he stepped in and has done a great job. We've been lucky to have those guys.
So what are your thoughts on their performance this season?
Well, I thought they've done great, as a group. I think they work good together. I think they all have, I've got Fleming as well, Keelan at the other corner. They, as a group of five, the tools that all five of them have, they just mesh together and work well as a group.
And speaking of Keelan Fleming, he's made a lot of great plays over the course of this season. The one that really stands out to me was that INT in the game against Camden Fairview, closing off the game really in that one. What are some of your favorite moments from him, or maybe from any of these DBs over the season?
Well, I'm one of those. I'm kind of old school when it comes to that. I don't remember all of the big plays like everyone does. I'm one of those that I remember all the times where everybody does exactly what they're supposed to do. And whenever that happens, usually you do get big plays. And like the one you're talking about with Keelan, he was right where he was supposed to be. And that's what I like to see. And then he's athletic enough to make a play like that to end the game. So, yeah, I don't have a lot of great plays that I necessarily remember. I just like the games where they all do exactly what they're supposed to do.
Do you maybe have a favorite game where these DBs really stepped up?
I think that not necessarily. I think they've progressively gotten better throughout the season. I really do. And I think what they do is they take from the mistakes they make every week, they really work on getting those corrected every single week. So I guess I would have to say this last game. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just a progression process.
Yes, exactly.
So despite the focus mainly being, we move on to this matchup next week against Harrison, despite the focus mostly being on their heavy run game, they can hurt you through the air too. Noah Dittmanson, their quarterback, has thrown over 1,300 yards, to favorite targets like Daniel McCormick, Caleb Husky, and Cameron Jones. So, how much have they played into the game plan for this game?
Well, I tell you where they get you is the fact that they are so heavy run. Whenever they do throw, it's usually off of a play action pass, and it's tough on us as DBs. We want to come up and make plays and make tackles as well, and we don't like big run plays, so we come up and try to help with those. And, when they do hit you on a pass, you've got to be ready to redirect and get back in your zones and so forth. They do a real good job of it. They throw a lot of big balls up top, and we've got to make sure that we're back ready to make those plays. They've got 2 or 3 guys that they really key on, and we've got to make sure we know where they are on the field.
Would you say playing back is a key to success in this game?
I think we got to keep the ball in front of us. Definitely, we don't want, and that's something that we try to do on a game-to-game basis. But especially in this one, we need to keep them in front of us, obviously. But at the same time, we just don't need any big plays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So before we close off this segment, we also know that you're the strength and conditioning coach. Of course, those two aren't the most glorified in football, but how crucial are they to a team's success?
Well, I tell you what I like about what I do is the fact that, it is kind of a quiet job, but at the same time, I feel it's one of the most important. I really do. If you don't get it done in the weight room, and I tell them every day, what we do during the season right now, we're just trying to stay healthy. We're trying to, we're not trying to build and bulk right now. We're trying to build muscle and try to stay healthy. But, after the season, between now and between then and August, we're gonna get after it and really try to bulk up and get stronger, because it's definitely a key to success, without a doubt.
It definitely helps out with the longevity in that.
Oh yeah.
Now 11-game season.
Exactly.
So one last question, and this is one that we like to ask all of our guest coaches. Over the time you spent in football, what is the most important lesson the game has taught you?
Oh man, how to be a man. That's what I always go back to. This game teaches you, on a play-to-play basis, on a day-to-day basis, and a practice-to-practice, game-to-game. It's how to be a man and how to grow up, and not just on the field, but in the locker room, and in the, anytime you're together as a team, and it teaches you how to be a good teammate and be a good man.
That's great. And before you go, we've got one more segment. This is our Ball of Fame. Anytime we have any guests in the studio, player, coach, we have them sign this ball. So would you sign this for us before you go?
You bet. I normally charge for this. I'll sign Jeff. There you go.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good
Hey,
luck this week.
You bet. Enjoyed it.
Don't forget to come out and support your Rams this Friday as they take on the Harrison Goblins in the first round of the 5A playoffs. But if you can't make it, you can catch it right here on Lakeside TV. For now, this is Chase Hartsell signing off. Have a great week and go Rams.
He's going to take the snap. He's going to try to take it up the middle here, and it's off to the races. Touchdown, Lakeside.
Before you can find your potential, you first have to find your path. At National Park College, our mission is to help you do both, with a university experience that's close to home. With career-focused education, help with job placement and a variety of programs to choose from, and a cost that's less than half of four-year universities, National Park College can put you on the path to a better education. Visit np.edu today and find your path.